Why the poor stay poor? It's a tough question, isn't it? And today we're gonna dig into the real, hidden reasons why it can feel like you're just stuck, no matter how hard you work. You know that feeling, right? Like you're just running and running, but the scenery never, ever changes. You're putting in all the work, probably more than anyone else you know, but you're not actually going anywhere. And I really need you to hear this next part. It is not because you're lazy. It is because the machine, the system, it was designed this way. This isn't about some personal failure. It's about a trap. And our whole goal here is to show you exactly how that trap works. Okay, so let's get right into it. The first thing we have to understand are these invisible walls, because this is so much bigger than just willpower. You can't just try harder to get past these. So the myth that everybody tells you is that it's all about effort, right? That you just lack ambition. Well, that's just not true. The reality is you're fighting a battle on two different fronts. One is inside your own head, and the other is against the world around you. At the very heart of that internal battle is something called the scarcity mindset. Think of your brain like a computer. When you're constantly worried about money, about not having enough of something, it's like having way too many tabs open at once. Your brain's processing power just tanks. It literally makes you worse at making good decisions. To put it really simply, when you're constantly stressed about money, your brain gets exhausted. And a tired brain, well, it doesn't make smart, long-term plans. It makes desperate choices just to survive today. And that drained mental state, that's what leads you straight into the mechanism of the trap itself. We're talking about the cycle of scarcity. It's this vicious loop that's literally designed to keep you stuck right where you are. So here's how it works. Step 1, it all starts with that crushing financial pressure. You know, the bills are piling up. Then step 2, your brain, which is already tired, it defaults to short-term survival mode. You're not thinking about next year, you're just trying to get through tonight. That leads to step 3, the negative consequences. We're talking late fees, insane interest rates, missed opportunities. And what does all that do? It leads you right back to step 1, even more financial pressure. You see how that works? The cycle just repeats, and every single time, you're a little bit deeper in the hole. And this is where this quote from Einstein just hits so hard. You can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. This is absolutely crucial. You cannot hustle your way out of a problem that is rooted in your mindset. To break the cycle, you have to start by changing the way you think. So, how do we do that? By breaking your mental chains. This is the part where you start taking back control. And listen, it doesn't start with winning the lottery or getting some lucky break. It starts right up here in your head. Okay, so there are 4 huge mindset shifts you need to make. First, you've got to go from being a victim to being an agent. Instead of thinking about what's happening to you, start asking, what can I actually control? Second, shift from short-term survival to a long-term vision. Even if it's a tiny one, just having that goal can change your daily decisions. Third, go from impulse to intention. Before you buy that thing, just pause and ask yourself, why am I really doing this? And finally, the big one, shift from being just a consumer to being a producer. What can you create? What value can you offer? But look, changing your mindset is fantastic, but it's totally useless if you don't actually do something. So let's talk about your first practical steps. These are super small actions, but they're designed to create some real momentum. Okay, step 1 is the 24-hour audit. For just one day, that's it, write down every single penny you spent. And hey, no judgment here, okay? This is just about collecting data. You gotta see where the money's going. Step 2, the 1% improvement. Find just one small recurring expense, that daily coffee, a subscription you forgot about, cut it, and move that money into savings. The amount doesn't matter. The habit is what matters. And step 3, the 15-minute investment. For just 15 minutes a day, instead of scrolling, you're gonna learn a skill that can actually make you money. Think writing, sales, graphic design, anything. Okay, but let's be real for a second. What if you do all of this? You shift your mindset, you start taking these small steps, but you look around and you're still in the same place. What then? What are you missing? Well, that's because your mind is only half the battle. And that's exactly what we're going to cover in our next explainer, why your environment is silently killing your potential. It's the other, absolutely crucial piece of this puzzle. So let's end with this thought. You don't get to choose your starting line. That's just a fact of life. But what you do get to choose, starting right now in this moment, is your direction. So the only question left is, which way are you going to go?